This is the
news, sponsored by Actimel.
Radnor.
Okay, so we made it another week.
We did. Welcome back to the show that keeps changing name.
Yeah, I think we're going to go back to the lockdown, aren't we?
I think it's the lockdown show, isn't it?
Yeah. We have changed the background though, because we've changed our studio a bit. This gives us a bit more throw, so we can have some motorcyclismos in the background to make it a little more bike friendly. And we've got the delicious Ducati 916 and the MV Agusta 1078 312 RR.
I wasn't allowed to bring the S-Rad in, so...
No, it was leaking, wasn't it? Did it start the other day?
Eventually. Anyway, don't ruin it.
Okay.
Should we head to the news, Chris?
Let's do it.
So I think we'll start, Chrissy, with some very personal news. 44teeth.com. We just want to encourage you guys to head to 44teeth.com more. For many, many reasons, obviously, because it's the hub of all things 44 Teeth, but we just need a secure base for ourselves in the future to come, don't we?
Yeah, it's a bit of a banker really, because if a certain type of social media decides they don't like us anymore, we're kind of screwed. So we want to start diverting our traffic to our hub, which is 44teeth.com. Most new things will be up there first, and all of our latest reviews and stuff will definitely be there first, and all our giveaways and all that stuff will be on 44teeth.com. So please go there first. And then in the future, when we have like apps and stuff, which we're going to develop all sorts of Elon Musk-y type Tesla systems, that will be the base. So make sure you do the little bookmarky thing on your Windows 98 Explorer page, and go from there.
Superb. Let's get that.
Oh, that is, what do we have for lunch? Mexican chicken.
Breaking news this week, Norton, remember them?
Yes, some with a very bitter taste.
Stuart Garner. I mean, this show couldn't be aired with the expletives that we could use to describe the bloke. But Norton, as a brand, obviously 122 years old, a magnificent part of the UK culture and heritage. Being bought out by TVS, the TVS company from India, massive, massive deal, I think worth £16 million. But them themselves...
Which is almost as much as the pension fund.
Exactly, yeah, funny that.
Yeah.
But yeah, big deal. And news this week was there was a new factory being built in Solihull, of all places.
So the Midlands just got more Midlandy. Bread and dripping. That's what they do up there, isn't it? Hit stuff with hammers.
But yes, good news for people who like Norton, I guess. I mean,
I like Norton.
It's a cool brand, isn't it? And they've made some cool bikes, and they've, you know.
Yeah, I mean, their bikes aren't very good, but I like them because it's just that sort of rare thing.
Well, look, it's going to be good news. Lots of money being pumped into the brand, and you know, good luck to them, I'd say. Hopefully, we see some new bikes and
some bangers, and hopefully they don't
bangers,
dilute it, because I don't want to see a boring little something crap. I want to see the Dominators and things like that.
The Dominator.
So moving on, we have also the KTM's new little flagship adventure bike. The KTM 1290 Super Adventure S. Now, this has always been a bit of a favourite of ours at 44 Teeth, this bike. It's an absolute monster, packing 160 brake horsepower.
It is now, yeah. 138 newton meters of torque.
We went around the Nürburgring on the last one,
did.
and it was head and shoulders above the rest on that particular
sporting
system.
ability. If you want a bonkers adventure bike with sporting ability, there isn't another option, really, is there?
No. It was an absolute riot.
She had a golden shower all over David Gower.
Now it looks like it's got extra sort of ball bags round the side.
Yeah.
Which I presume is a fuel sack.
23 litre tank now, yeah.
And what else is it packing, Ali
Well,
Wally?
we've got some new suspension, a new 7-inch dash.
What was the old one?
I think it was 6,
Okay.
but every inch helps.
For some.
The chassis has been tweaked. There's more geometry.
More geometry.
More geometry. There's
Wow.
more geometry.
Wow, there's just more physics.
Apparently there is new geometry settings. The steering head has been moved back by 50mm. The position of the engine within the frame has been altered in an effort to improve the weight distribution and afford agility.
And it's got a slightly longer swinging arm.
It has, yes, it has indeed. They were quite flighty, weren't they? Like
Yeah,
rowing,
it's the only-
like rowing for Oxford sometimes.
Yeah, I was on the launch of that.
Did you crash it?
We'll come to that, thank you. In Corsica 4 years ago?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
And it's the only bike I've ever felt travel sick riding those roads around Corsica because it's so rampant. It's like on, off, on the brakes, on, that I had to keep stopping to
be sick.
To be sick. And then I crashed it.
You weren't alone though, were you?
No.
No.
No. And then, who was it?
Alan. Adventure Alan.
Adventure Alan decided to, do it at the same time. It was the rain. Why does the front look funny?
No, but that's a cool shot though, isn't it?
That is a cool shot. You should go on to 44teeth.com.
We'll show you now.
It looks cool. But, yeah, the front looks weird. I'm presuming that's for its radar box.
Yeah, so it's got adaptive cruise control.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one. Just in case riding on a motorway on a motorbike was not boring enough. What do you think about this?
I just don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, there's so much going on a bike. I can understand in a car. I mean, I still wouldn't use it in a car because it freaks me. But on a bike, there's so much going on, especially when you're going long distances. You know what it's like. You like to have a bit of manual control just to keep you awake and to keep you alive.
Yeah.
And I just sorry.
And it's absolutely, I mean, I think they've made a better job than Ducati at the looks of it, because it's sort of, that headlight looks a bit more Star Wars cool anyway.
Well, it's kind of
but it not to mention,
integrated, isn't it? Rather than
stuck on.
Yeah.
But it just ruins the look of, like, if all bikes can have this stupid bloody thing on, it's just going to be, can you imagine that? With a radar on the front. It's ridiculous. But I'm with you. I just think it's pointless technology, much the same as keyless. I just think it's ridiculous. Well, let's try and sample it. Let's get KTM to come and give us a bike. And I will drive at 80 mile an hour straight towards you and see if it stops.
I was supposed to be riding it this week.
Why aren't you?
Because we can't leave the UK. Well, we can do actually.
Hang on, so they didn't invite me?
No.
It's because the guy crashed last time.
Yeah.
So new in this week, Grant Shapps, who is some transport fella in the government, if anyone's talking about anything other than the pandemic, he's decided that he thinks the UK should be the first country in the world to legally allow people to take their hands off the steering wheel on a motorway.
Hi boys. The Department for Transport has suggested that automatic lane keeping systems, or ALKs to its mates, could steer vehicles in start-stop traffic of up to 37 miles an hour. Although ALKs has been approved by UN regulations that came into force in Britain last week, the trick of technology is still confined to roads where, quote, traffic moving in opposite directions is physically separated and no pedestrians or cyclists are allowed, or a motorway in English. Motorists could soon be using their phones, watching films, reading a book, or simply having a tug behind the wheel, all in accordance with the Automatic and Electric Vehicles Act 2018. The Department for Transport said, "We have sought views on the use of automatic lane keeping systems to pave the way towards introducing it safely on UK roads. However, no decision has yet been made on whether to allow ALKs to operate up to 70 miles an hour." Back to the studio.
What do we think about that?
Absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, I don't buy this.
The thing is, we're coming from this at this from a bike point of view. Now, if the UK was half decent at driving and accepting that bikes filter, and they weren't fussed about letting their hand off the wheels and not looking behind or in their wing mirrors to see if there's bikes coming, can you imagine?
All of these measures, including average speed cameras, which there's just been a new stretch on the A31 up to the A3 for Guildford, which is incredibly nice. All they do is stop drivers paying attention.
Yeah.
Because they just go, oh, average speed camera.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bored.
Sitting at 50, sitting at 50.
I'm bored now. Have I got any sandwiches? I'm sure there's a biscuit around here, or what's on the stereo? What shall I do here? You know, and that's when accidents happen. I'd much prefer to be surrounded by people doing 100 miles an hour who are paying attention to the road than people who are not paying attention to the road going 30 miles an hour, because it's just pathetic. But for some reason in this country, in this world, people just don't understand that simple fact. And it is a fact. Would you agree it's a fact?
It's a fact, yeah. It's a fact.
Fat fact.
Fact of the day. But no, I think it's to help drivers and start traffic. I don't know what crack one off?
How much help do they
Eat food?
How much help do they need?
I mean, I just can't understand it. I cannot understand it.
But how much help do they
And
need?
why 37 mile an hour? 37 mile an hour is fast enough on a motorway for the technology to fail and go, "Aah!" And I just...
Well, that Tesla that drove into the
Yeah.
lorry that was pulling out because it was white and the sky was white and it just drove straight into it. It almost seems like it's pandering to some sort of manufacturing lobbyist. I think it's a non-story.
Well, apparently there was evidence in August to show automated technology can make driving safer, smoother and easier for motorists. Bollocks.
Agreed.
This is breaking news coming in now. Today, BMW Motorrad announced that they will be quitting international trade shows in favour of, I quote, new live and digital formats. Scary. Times are changing.
It is scary, but I can see particularly now, but I can see every reason why they would. We've been saying it for a few. I mean, it's great to go there and have some beers and look around the cool new bikes and sample and touch. There's nothing quite fulfills touching a
big knob,
tangible thing. You know, it's just it's brilliant. But the amount of times that we make the effort to travel out there, pay money to stay in hotels, drink all the beer, sample all the prostitutes in the local area, it's hugely expensive.
Cocaine.
Yeah, it's hugely expensive. And then some bastard sat at home in his bedroom gets the news on the digital format before we're queuing up in the scrum trying to get pictures of a new bike, and someone's like, "Oh, I've got it already." Email.
I think that's kind of missing the point here. I think the point is that if BMW do it, and they were the kind of not pioneers, but they were massive in Intermot and in EICMA, which are the two major international shows in Italy and Germany. And I think if they go, I hope it doesn't leave the room for other manufacturers to do so, because that will be a shame. I will say though, we did ask Mr. BMW from BMW UK, and he did say that wouldn't affect the UK shows. So you'll still see it, or the new bikes at NEC, but just not in the big ones, the big trade shows.
But then with the big players moving out the way, you know, you always have to think about the knock-on effects. Would that then open up more space for newer, fresher companies to come in there with their new bike designs, and would it not help development in that way? So it is.
True. Yeah.
You know, it's not always such a, oh my god, it's going to end. It might just turn into a more tobacco dock bike shed thing.
Actually, going back to your original point you made, it's often the smaller stands that you see the cooler bikes.
Yes.
And the kind of fresh product, you know, the exciting new technology that you won't see on these big stands. So I agree. Maybe it is a good thing. Well, it's not a good thing, but maybe it's there's scope for progression.
Time will tell.
Time will tell, Chrissy.
I just touched you then. I'm sorry. I just need to disinfect.
Now, Chris, I know you're a big advocate of winter tyres, aren't you?
Yes, very much so, on any type of vehicle.
Exactly. Now, Bridgestone have just released, it was came out at the end of last year, the new T32, which is, I mean, T31 was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was incredible. If you want an all-encompassing touring tyre, then that was it, wasn't it?
That's what we rode to the Alps on, wasn't it? On the budget bike Battle Alpine.
Yes, it was.
In 900 miles of absolute freezing misery. And it was good. And it sounds a bit like a Terminator. Isn't
T32.
D1000.
And of course the T32 will be getting very soon, and we are going to do some knee down in the wet, because apparently it's drastically better in the wet. I don't know how it can get any better in the wet, but better than it is.
It is slipping into.
Oh my god, shut up!
And that is the end of the news. So where does that leave us now then?
Well, Chris, I think it's time, isn't it?
I think it's time.
It's time.
So last week we announced an absolute whopper of a... So yes, last week we announced an absolute... Do you want to do it?
We announced an absolute whopper of a prize. And that was an RST V4.1 airbag suit. And what a prize. What a prize.
Definitely the best prize we've ever given away.
Easily, by a long way. Yeah.
And you guys responded in kind, and we had over 1,800 comments.
We did.
To go through and sift through. But
1,800 sounds more.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. But we have selected a winner.
We have.
There's some absolute bangers in there. So
At the same time, there was some absolute shit in there as well, wasn't there?
Just sort it out.
I mean, if you're going to go and make an effort to claim a free prize worth over 1,200 quid,
yeah,
put a bit of effort. Anyway, let's not get too negative here. But there is a winner. You going to announce it?
Yeah, I mean, I will announce it. He's our winner, and he's your winner as well, because it was the top place comment in last week's video.
It was.
And his name, on YouTube anyway, is M-Dereve.
M-Derv.
M-Derves.
Hey, mate, got any M-Derv you can put in?
M-Derv.
Got any cherry you can put in that?
So yeah, well done to M-Derv. And that comment was, I shall just read it out here. I lost my nan to COVID last year, so I'd really like a big, limp, leathery suit to remind me of her. Hashtag we are RST. So we thought that was a bit of light-hearted comedy, and we liked it.
I'm sorry if you did lose your nan.
Well, yeah, but you can't live your life behind a woke shield, can you?
No.
You've got to sometimes get out there and go, oh, Nan would have liked it.
Big black leather suit.
So well done, and you now have until this time next week to get in touch and claim your prize. We will try and contact you through YouTube as well.
Yeah.
If you don't claim your prize, we will give it to our next best comment. And that's going to be the same for all future giveaways. But thank you very much for your participation, and just going to buy a suit anyway. To be honest, they're pretty cheap anyway, aren't they?
They are.
Like value for money, because I think the next sort of competitors for a full-on airbag suit is well over £2,000.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Well done.
Well done, M-Derv.
Well done, M-Derv. M-Derv. M-Dubs. M-Dubs.
Are you really fond of M-Dubs? Are you really fond of M-Dubs?
You alright?
Yeah, just lyrically I blaze them because I look like Jason Statham.
So what's our next item?
I think it's time for a slightly changed one this time. Show us your growler.
Yes, this is basically show us your muffler, but someone had a suggestion called show us your growler. So what have we got for this week's growlers?
We've got a couple of lovely growlers. I mean, let's start off with the most modest one first, shall we?
Okay, go on.
There's a couple of reasons I like that one. This is John Jess and his 959 Panigale Special Edition.
That is very nice.
It's very nice, very nice bike. But what I like about it is he's gone for an arrow. I love a bit of what's the rogue element? Kind of
like a
badass,
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah. He's also got a garden light that seems to have fallen down the hill in the background.
Maybe it's the wind.
Yeah.
Storm Katie.
That was so that's not standard spec colour, is it? That's like a FE.
Yes, it's an FE. Yeah.
Sort of rip-off.
Special edition. Yeah.
But very nice. I like the way stepping away from the Ducati incarnate Akrapovic.
Yeah.
Warranty keeping.
yeah. Invalidating
mufflers.
warranty.
So I appreciate. I like your balls.
Well done, John.
Yeah, and I'll just say those slip-ons, they're really nice, like snug underneath the.
Yeah.
I don't like the wangers out the side on those bikes. Never have. Even the double wangers,
Don't you?
No, never been a fan.
Not even.
The design of that bike, it's just beautiful
Yeah.
under the belly, and it's proper. Well done.
Well done, John. And next up, we have Pasta Maldonado XF. Did you just fart?
No, I'm
right.
just like, I've just seen what's on the screen.
Pasta Maldonado, ex-F1 driver, his brother Trey, has sent us in this picture of his V4, base V4.
That's got to be America, isn't it?
It's got to be.
That is.
The VIP Stars Bad Weather Boys.
That's more American than Donald J. Trump.
And that's a lovely pair of growlers. That's 2 for 1, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like them at all.
I love that.
I think it's an absolute abomination.
Hmm.
I think it's sorry.
Sorry, Trey.
Sorry, Trey. But I have just noticed, is that a Pierre Bon rear subframe?
Bloody well is.
Bloody well is. Now that I can get on board with. So actually, I take it all back, Trey. You win,
Really?
mate. Yeah, that level is fucking cool.
But a lovely pair of growlers, Trey. Who's the winner?
Are we just talking exhausts here?
Wow. I don't know.
I think I'm going to go with the Arrow.
Yeah.
RCF.
I agree. Well done, John. Congratulations. You are this week's Growler of the Week.
And now it's over to our man James for the tip of the week.
Oh.
What?
Just reminded me of James's tip.
Oh, James's tip.
Tip of the week.
Bleeding your brakes, all you need is a little bit of a bottle and a bit of a tube. There's a little trick. So, for argument's sake, this is the last point of bleeding. We would put a bit of pressure on there, crack the old nipple off a little bit, and just feel it come back and get a little bit of fluid. There, look at that, a little bit of air come out of there. And Bono's just done these as well, so you get a bit of a tulling off later. But we do that nipple back up, take the hose off of there, keeping pressure on the brake at all times, then get a cable tie or an old sock or anything like that and keep pressure on it. Leave it overnight, and then the air that's in the system should eventually come up to the top and you'll get a better brake for it.
Well, thanks, James. Again, that was a lovely tip of the week. I'm sure you'll agree, sat at home, pondering James's thoughts about his tip.
Yeah, just thinking about James's tip.
Anyway, what's next, Chris?
Now, this is where we get low down and personal, because this is Fat Chat. So, do you want to?
Yeah, I'll go, because I'll get the bad news out of the way first, right?
Okay.
It was a tough week. It was snowing, I was cold, so therefore I needed to eat my body weight in junk food. And for some reason, my wife bought a load of chocolate for the kids, so I ate a load of chocolate. I ate 2 giant bags of mini eggs.
That is that you are like
Yeah.
mini eggs are your
Oh mate, they are my kryptonite. Crack. Yeah, they are. So I had a bad week this week. I weighed myself this morning and I was 0.2 kilograms heavier. I'll be honest with you, I didn't do any cycling.
So are you into triple figures now then? Because you were
0.2.
you were 99.
I'm 99.2.
You were 99.2. Now you're 99.4.
No, I was 99 bang on,
okay.
and now I'm 99.2. Yeah. So not a good week, guys. But yeah, it's been a bad week, isn't it?
It has been a difficult week. The snow really scuppered my plans this week.
Yeah.
Because the cycling was out. You know, you could there's solid ice all down the back roads. So I tried to go a different way and just tried to not eat basically, and I don't recommend it because it was.
You were eggy, weren't you?
It just wasn't. It was by about sort of almost halfway into it. I just felt weak. I felt like ill and just and I had like a cough. I couldn't smell or taste anything. No, but I didn't. My body kind of went, hang on, what the hell's going on? And I weigh myself every day, which I know you shouldn't, but I keep track of it. And the body fat actually went up because I think my body went, hang on,
Shut down.
He's on like a desert island or something. We need to store some fat. However, despite that, I still managed to lose some weight, and I am now Where am I? And I am now 103.8. So that is, I'm still pretty impressed with that.
Well done, Chris.
And this is the bit which I just noticed now. I can do, with quite comfortable ease, my jacket up now. So I'm quite happy with that.
I'm pleased for you, mate. I'm pleased for you.
So the message is, but can you see, look at that? That's the graph of body fat percentage, and that's when I went on to the fasting thing, and the body fat just shot up, went, oh, but I just couldn't move. Anyway, so I think the message is, I'm not a nutritionalist, but everything in moderation, balance. I went too hard, and my body didn't like it. So now I'm just going to go gradually and just try and do a bit more exercise. I haven't eaten any chocolate. Oh my God, just the delicacy of that
That's delicate.
has made me very scared. But no, so I haven't eaten anything bad this week at all, or last week, for the last 2 weeks since the first show.
Yeah.
I haven't had any chocolate. And earlier on today, went to the shop today, didn't we? And we bought some.
Oh,
He couldn't wait to eat his, so he
I had my millionaire shortbread.
he ate his
Stuffed it.
straight
Yeah.
away. I mean, it's almost
Oh
too
my word.
intimidatingly big. I might just break it in half. Would you like some?
No, I don't. No, don't, Chrissy. No, don't.
You can have the smaller bit. Look.
No, it's all right.
Go on.
Right.
So this is a man who hasn't eaten anything delicious for 2 weeks, eating something delicious.
How's it?
I mean,
Stay at the desk.
it's utterly delicious, but I'm not that bothered by it.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Well, not.
But I think, over the last few weeks, I've noticed anything that is sweet is really sweet
Yeah,
for me
yeah.
now, because I don't have sweet stuff. I do almond milk now. Sorry, environment. And it's changed my body, and I find it actually almost too sweet. Wow.
That's not very nice.
No?
No.
Oh, maybe that's why I don't like it.
It's a bit shit.
Welcome to a new segment called Cake of the Week.
Rate my brownie. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new segment, and this is a segment called Mass Debate.
And this is where we debate en masse the issues of the day or week or month.
Or year. In this week, we thought we'd kick off with a subject very close to our hearts and close to the current affairs of the week. It's riding sports bikes on the road, particularly the latest batch of modern weaponry. Now, regular viewers would have noted that naked bike sales have been through the roof the last sort of 6, 7, 8 years. They've been top of the pile, and there's lots of new Speed Triple came out this week. So there's lots of reasons to buy naked bikes over sports bikes, but we are both sports bike nuts.
Yeah.
So why don't we enjoy riding sports bikes on the road as much as we used to?
I think there's a multi-layered reasonings for this, and I don't think to be particularly misled with sports bike sales new being because I still think there's an awful lot of people who ride older sports bikes
Of course I do, yeah.
on the road.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, that's a good point actually, because that's something we didn't mention in that report. There's no way of quantifying second-hand sales, used sales. There's no way. Well, there might be really, but if you went through dealers, but private sales, there's no way the MCIA and other people can collect that data. So, if you go to a pub or a bike night or a show, everyone's on superbikes,
Yeah.
on sports bikes.
Yeah, which we condone, and I like that. But I think the modern crop of superbikes are just so accurate and good at going as fast as possible around a closed, controlled loop that on the road, yes, they're fast, but it's got to a level where you're not going to travel much faster on the road on a brand new superbike as you are on that 916.
No.
It's just not going to happen. And personally, now, I would prefer to ride the 916 than the latest Panigale V4 because it's more of an emotive, enjoyable experience.
It makes you feel better.
It makes you feel
Yeah.
better. And that's what road riding, unless you're commuting, to me, should be. It should be making you fun, rather than cracking the throttle and you're doing 120 miles an hour without even noticing it. Like that, if you tried to go 120 miles an hour, you'd bloody know it. And yeah, it's all
probably be a piston for the side.
probably, but isn't that part of it's all part of the experience? And I think, the same is happening in supercars. It's exactly the same. I'd much prefer an older car to drive on the road within the limits that makes you feel like you're enjoying yourself more than data. Track, completely different.
Yeah.
Modern sports bikes are amazing bits of kit, like so incredible.
But we both preferred to ride that 916 than a £25,000 Panigale V4
That is also true.
special edition. Was it?
It was
Corsa.
Speciale.
Speciale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is also true, but if you were doing a track day a week, you'd choose the Speciale.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
because that would have its own issues. And
we
blah,
were
blah,
both
blah.
hungover and yeah.
Yeah, and it was a lot slower
Yeah,
and nicer.
yeah.
But no, it was the emotive experience. And I just think sports bikes on the road are like the new, again, 25 grand basically is going to cost you for a new sports bike now, isn't it? Just to ride it on the road seems very excessive. And it's not.
I think it's just too easy to go fast. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Before you look down, particularly, the sort of inline fours that don't
Like the
make
double
so
R.
much noise. Yeah, you look down, you're doing 130 mile an hour, and you're only in second gear,
Yeah.
and you feel like you're doing 70, 80, 90, perhaps, but it's just too easy to push the boundaries. And I've got to say, it's also too easy to go jail and your license these days. I mean, our licenses are probably far more valuable than the time spending enjoying riding that bike.
Agreed. And if you really want to enjoy it and see what it can do, take it to a track.
Or an airfield.
Or an airfield or whatever. But yeah, so it's an interesting mass debate. Let us know how you feel about it in the comments below. Yeah. I mean, and I think there's going to be a massive renaissance back to. It's why K5 Gixxers are still good. It's why the
S-Rads.
S-Rads, ZX7Rs, old technology, which I mean, maybe we're just getting old. I don't know. Do you think that's part of it?
You might be, yeah.
Well, you like GSs now, so. But maybe as we get older, and we are very lucky to be able to sample any bike whenever we want. So the modern stuff does get a bit boring and naggy and like, get on that. No tyre pressure sensors, no fuel, speed, temperature.
Yeah.
Off you go. So maybe there's a bit of it, but. Yeah, I think it's a shame the 600 segment is kind of gone, isn't it? Really. Or why can't
the fact that Triumph, they've got this amazing platform, they've got this amazing new engine, and
which is, for people that don't know, that is the engine used in Moto 2.
Yes, exactly the same.
It's a pinnacle of engineering, and what's it doing? Sat in a sort of street bike.
But my point was going to be, they brought this new Speed Triple out with this new engine, and Triumph turned around and said, well, we're not going to make a superbike because we don't believe people are going to buy it. There's enough interest. Absolute. I'm just heartbroken. I really am. That engine. I mean, as I said on the video, you put some clip-ons and some fairings on that bike, it'll be a banger. Why can't Triumph do that?
And I mean, and again, we've alluded to this in previous videos that I hope manufacturers are going to make non-EU conforming bullshit machines just for track day goers.
Yeah.
Because so many people now, if you've got the means, I understand it's very expensive, will just go and buy a double R, and they only ride it on track anyway. So you might as well get one with a full system and without any restriction of having to conform to a law, and there you have amazing
I think
superbikes.
you could have the option. It will come with headers, titanium headers. It will come with an engine and a frame and very cheap shit suspension that is going to be replaced anyway.
No, I'd go the other way and make a club sport package.
Yeah, but that's just people.
Yeah, but normal. Like, let's take your average RR customer. They got like brand new RR. They got a bit of money. They just want to go and ride track days. They're going to want some Olin suspension in it. It's almost. I understand why the new M1000 RR doesn't have top of the range suspension in it, but for the customers that are going to buy it, fucking bloody well should do. It's a bit of a disgrace, to be honest with you, that it doesn't have that. It just has the basic wallopers.
Jalopies.
Yeah, but then we haven't ridden it, so maybe it will be. I don't know. Maybe the internals are different, but I think it's just the standard suspension from Wilbur's. I think make it.
Really? I thought it was Shash and
No, I think Wilbur's make it because all of the internals are exactly the same as the Wilbur's Boxer Cup kit I put in my R9T. But I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Is it really? I haven't watered my plant today.
Well, guys and girls, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for your support. Keep buying that merch. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. See you next week.
Yeah.